and primary transit actually point to Samosir Island and also to Medan, so it's central in a lot of ways to the island. According to legend, by the way, a girl named Saruni was betrothed to a man she didn't love. Desperate, she fled to the cliff and prayed for the rock to close in order to escape the forced marriage. Apparently her prayers were answered and the rock closed, trapping Saruni's body. It's from this event that the word parapet came from. There you go, a little bit of history. Hope you're enjoying this. Speaking of history, we're also about to have a ton of great racing as we get ready to roll here for endurance. By the way, parapet comes from, originating from Saruni's cries of parapet, parapet, batu. It's also apparently a pretty popular spot for cliff climbing. So taking a look just around here. You know, each one of the stops has really brought a very diverse look to those areas. One area was full of forested regions. Another area was wide open agricultural. That was our first stop at the Karo Cup. And right now we are looking at a very gorgeous rocky backdrop with a ton of beautiful buildings surrounding this village. Over 25 countries represented this morning as we get ready to grow, grow and go. Let's get shot out at the different buildings that you see and the unique boats. These are some of the historical, cultural boats, very traditional. There's Johan Johansson, who's going to be retiring after this year. He will no longer be racing in a closed course. However, he will still be a big part of racing in the UIM ABP Tour because he's got two kids that are racing. Sam Johansson, who you're going to get a chance to watch tomorrow and Sunday, and also Janina Johansson's going to be whipping it up in the girls ski division. So you get plenty of time to hang out with the Swedes. And just taking a look right now, we've got the dignitaries pulling out and getting ready to go. Rumor has it that the vice president of Indonesia will be joining us this weekend. That is Gibran Roka. And hopefully we'll get an opportunity to see him as we get into this race even more the next couple of days. You've got us here live as we get ready to go for this Parade of Nations. I see the Aquabike crew up here hanging out with me. Kiara's one of the great ones on the crew and our social media specialist with us as well. There's Lino Arahu, the gentleman that has got to be feeling some pressure today. As I mentioned, he's only got 104 points. Actually, he was looking so solid. Hey, Wika Salim hanging out with us. You're going to see him live tomorrow. We are just about to get underway. Arahu with 104 points, Pons with 108, Ratatek with 113, and Midori with 115. You can see how tight it is. You know what's also been fascinating? This has really been a rainy week for us, but every single day this incredible country has offered up perfect racing. We have not had rain until after the event. So fingers crossed, you guys. Keep your hands together. We are ready to roll. And we just got the signal from Marco Petrini, our race director. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the gas. We're about to have, let's see, what did you call it? Bows down, intake grade hooked up, and throttles on in just a minute. What a cool visual that is. Here are the countries represented this morning: France, USA, Japan, China, Hungary, Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia. We've got so many racers this week from Indonesia. Over 10 riders entered originally in the endurance section. Spain is out there, Serbia, Italy, Brazil, Portugal, New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and Sweden. I do believe I've got it covered. And you can see all of the flags out there represented, and a very traditional part of our session every single year. We always honor all of the different countries as we get ready to go. Give you just a moment to enjoy the spectacle. Our course marshals carrying the wonderful Indonesia flag so that we can honor our host country. And there are, as I'd mentioned, several of the Regency VIPs getting the ride in the police vehicle, Polisi. And that's a gorgeous looking boat. And they're actually going to show you the course. Now we're going to trip you up a little bit. The last 2 days you've been watching a left-hand track. Today we're going to totally flip the switch on you and we're going to turn this into a right-hand track. So when these guys take that start, they're actually going to be starting from that right, and then they're going to be working a right-hand side of the track. Very impressive, but this is going to be a little bit trickier for these riders. Most of the riders practice left-hand tracks, although a lot of the pros, they're actually equal opportunists. They like to be able to train on both sides of that just in case the race director, in this case the diabolical Marco Petrini at work, put together this right-hand side track, and it's going to be fun but brutal for the riders. Now, when you're out on the water, and you'll notice as we're coming through, let's go ahead and talk jet ski language for just a second. You'll see the course marshals heralding these riders as they come in. They're actually going to be going around that yellow buoy. You just barely saw it right in the screen a minute. That indicates to the riders to take a right turn. So they're actually going to be coming around the right and taking a right turn. If they come up on a red buoy, they'll be taking a left-hand turn. Actually, we switched it up for you. Normally that is how it is, but because we got a right-hand track, that red buoy will indicate right-hand turn. So for those of you guys who are used to jet ski racing, you're normally going to see that red buoy indicate left turn. Today it's going to indicate a right turn. The yellow buoy is going to indicate a left turn. So you see what I mean? Easy to get discombobulated for these guys. The lake's about 100 kilometers long, or 62 miles, 30 kilometers or 19 miles wide, and it's up to 505 meters or 1,600 feet deep. It's the largest lake in Indonesia and the largest volcanic lake in the world. Here's your right-hand turn as they come onto the front stretch. And it is thanks to this Regency and all of our dignitaries, safety crew, that we're able to put this race together. We've got 10 Indonesian riders, as I mentioned, competing this week in endurance. One of them, you want to keep your eye on him, it's boat number 69. It is Eges Ratag. Eges yesterday at the Diary Cup came in 12th. Man, this barge is a shaking. Every time those guys come by, you just saw Isahai. He's in a big battle. Isahai has 99 points, tied for 5th with Ruben Jimenez Riquelme. See France and, of course, Lino Arahu on 27. You're looking at that 27 boat. The rider from Portugal actually had not one, not two, but 3 hole shots during the 3 rounds. Just got ousted yesterday on the Diary Cup in moto number 2 by Midori. So far, Lino Arahu is credited with the most hole shots this weekend in endurance. Okay, we're going to bring these guys back in. We're transferring from modeling and parading to racing. So they're going to drop off the flags, get us situated, and then we will be ready to go. Helicopters coming through. Helicopters actually out here supporting us as well. Overcast skies today, but still a beautiful day. No rain in sight, hopefully for us. Keep your fingers crossed for us. because we have all of our equipment up on top of a barge. The sheer mind-boggling logistics are insane. Yesterday, one of our camera guys was literally knee-deep in water in order to get the right camera angle, and he sat there for over an hour and a half yesterday doing filming and getting ready. So again, that is the kind of determination and grit that the camera crews and the H2O crew has, the Aquabike crew has. It's just simply mind-boggling what they have to do to get everybody. Now, also, let's talk about transferring and portages. You can see boat number 95 down there. 95 is Fikri Rata. Talking a little bit about the transfers. All the riders have to transfer over. It looked like all of them made it over yesterday. I'll get you the update if all of them got their points today, but it looked like everybody did. I didn't see any toes. Get you update if it is. So again, it's going to be a right-hand track and a right-hand start. Looks like Arahu just checking a few things here, making sure that he understands the track. It's also one of the bigger tracks, 3.2.5 or 3.3 kilometer track. So we had the longest distance and the biggest track, because we're mean like that on the final day. We're going to put you through the ringer. Now, the situation for the riders, here's their program today. We're going to have a race start around 11:30. We're right on it, the bubble for that. And then what we're going to be doing is a 35-minute moto plus a lap. We're going to give them a little, about an hour and a half break, and then we're going to moto number 2. This is going to be the final moto and the moto that is going to be determining all of the points for these riders. That, too, is going to be a 35-minute moto plus a lap. We're going to quickly calculate all of those numbers, and then we're going to bring our winners up for the cup. And then we are also going to award them a world title. So you got two things happening simultaneously. Who is going to win the Simalungun Cup, and who is going to win the UIM ABP Aquabike Endurance World Championship. And then we're going to pack all of this stuff up, and we're going to head back to base camp, and then we're going to completely switch into closed course racing, and we're going to go to our World Championship starting tomorrow. So go ahead and get your refreshments locked in, and we're ready to go. If you are just got the hand signal from Marco Petrini, we are 2 minutes away from a start. Get your refreshments, get your snacks, get your beverages, get your seat, and let's do this. I'm ready for nose down, intake grade in, throttle on. Want to just do a shout out for some of the Indonesian riders. Ege's Brilliant Ratag, he's on boat number 69. He's only 15 years old. Boat number 28 is Hilman Kurniawan from Indonesia. He's 29 years old from Jakarta. Boat number 11 is Kanina Ramadina from Indonesia. She's 23 years old. She's a lawyer out of Jakarta. Mikhail Wimley from Indonesia on boat number 19. He's 19 years old, student out of Jakarta. Just to name a few of our Indonesian riders, and give them some huge props for coming here and competing. And we're just getting staged. Now what you're going to look for is the course marshal is going to hold his hand up, and when we're 60 seconds, we're ready for the 60 seconds. What we're going to do is he's going to indicate to the riders with a whistle that you have 60 seconds left before you go to a live start. And then once you have that clear moment, what you're trying to do is keep circling. They've got to circle left in order to restack each time. All of that was laid out in the pre-grid, and then we'll be doing a start. When the start happens, the course marshal will go from yellow to green. So we'll watch for that, and they are off. Lino Arahu with another good one. Lino Arahu and Francois Midori and Georgi Kasha leaped out in that. By the way, backup story on Georgi Kasha. He broke down on the first day and had to rebuild his boat on day number 2. So Georgi Kasha right in this mix. Francois Midori with a hole shot. And you can see him quickly looking back. Francois Midori nails it with that hole shot. But, man, it was close. I thought Lino Arahu was right in that top mix. We'll see where he ends up. He's got a huge battle that he's got to deal with. And here comes your spoiler, this gentleman from Hungary with a 1.5-year-old boy. I'm sure Ildi is at home watching. She used to race as well. Right now, Georgi Kasha is in third, trying to overtake for second. All right, you guys, coming in to that front stretch. It is the young man from Corsica, France, Francois Midori with the hole shot. Georgi Kasha moves up into second. It's Freddie Pons, the birthday boy, in third. Permpon Tirapatpanic in fourth. And a great start as we get underway. So again, Francois Midori, Georgi Kasha, Teddy Pons, and Permpon Tirapatpanic are your top 4. Man, what a day. Little recap for Francois Midori. Day 1, he was doing very well in the pack, and then suddenly Francois Midori broke, was unable to get the boat back out on the water, so he ended up with a DNF and no points. Georgi Kasha, the gentleman right behind him, broke on day 1, spent all day yesterday rebuilding engines to drop a new engine into this boat. And as I caught up with Georgi Kasha today, said, Dawn, I'm just out here learning. I've only started racing in endurance 1 year ago, which I did not realize. I thought that Georgi had raced more of that. Right now, you really got to watch the Hungarian rider, Georgi Kasha. He is stupidly fast, and he's very, very good at passing. Look how much pressure Georgi Kasha is putting on Francois Midori. He has a great opportunity here to win the Simalungun Cup, although he's probably not going to make anywhere near the podium after missing 2 days of racing, but he definitely has an opportunity for a cup win. Let's take a look at your times as they come through. 1:50.387 for Francois Midori. Again, Francois Midori with the hole shot. Got Francois Midori leading, Anthony Radatek in second, and Teddy Pons in third. By the way, happy birthday to Teddy Pons. All right, just we're trying to update our timing right here. As soon as I get that, I'll let you know. All right, our Indonesian riders, boat number 12 just coming through, one of the Indonesian racers. And we are still working on our timing, but again, Francois Midori is leading. Francois Midori coming back through. Still got about 5 seconds off the pace. Georgi Kasha. Teddy Pons third. And Isahai right there in fourth. Riquelme in fifth. All right, you can see the times up on the screen, a 1:19.127. Kasha's only 3 seconds behind. Teddy Paz, 14 seconds off the pace, and Isahai, 16 seconds off the pace. Man, Teddy Pons looks so good. It was so fun catching up with these guys today. I was actually talking with both Teddy Pons and Francois Midori. You know, they've been friends since the early 2000s. And what fun it was listening to these guys. So they were telling me a couple of cool stories. Apparently, Teddy is quite the dancer. Now, I don't know if that's true or Francois Midori was just throwing Teddy under the bus there. My gosh, we're in lap number 2, and already Francois Midori is lapping traffic. we're going to do a restart on our local timing. I can see you've got the timing up on the screen. Just real quick, I'm going to do a little update for us locally. Looking at Teddy Ponds, gentleman that was riding so good yesterday, wasn't able to hold off Francois Midori. Oh, there it is. I know why. All right, now we're locked in. Okay, we'll get back with you on that. Midori with a 1:22.794. Kasha with a 0.3 deficit. He's only 3 seconds behind. Pons is 17 seconds behind. Isahai is 19 seconds behind, and Jimenez in 5th. All right, here's our update. Thank you so much for that. We're just working on our local timing, and I got it. Francois Midori with the 1:22.794. Georgi Kasha with a 1:23.056 in second, and Teddy Pons with a 1:25.004 in third. Isahai with a 1:25.298 in fourth. And Ruben Jimenez Riquelme in 5th with the 1:26.963 in 6th. Permpon Terapotpinich in 7th. Lino Arahu in 8th. Anthony Radatek in 9th. Atsal Baristan and in 10th. Johan Johansson, you can also see that up on the screen. Johan Johansson, by the way, is a 1:29.922. Already flags coming out, and you can see how tough this course is. I really like how Marco Petrini puts the all of the buoys as close to the shore as possible. That is evil, and I like how evil it is. Here's why. The waves are actually going to pop off of the bank and then mirror right back into the track. That is going to provide extra excitement for the riders and, of course, extra excitement and entertainment for us as well. So just take a look. You can actually see it on the screen, how these waves are already starting to impact these riders, particularly on that front stretch area. Let's talk about Lake Toba. This, by the way, is a unique area for these competitors for 2 reasons. And the first one is while they're dealing with fresh water, what they are also dealing with is altitude. And altitude for any racer, as you know, it is a horsepower stealer. So what they've had to do is prop down, and they've also tried to remove as much weight as possible. Let me give you an example of that. Permpom Terapotpinich actually had a carbon fiber hull that he had been working with the last couple of days. He was having problems with the engine underneath, but the hull actually was carbon fiber. The Chinese rider Shen Shan also had a carbon fiber hull. The other thing that they do is they want to lift the boat out of the water because, again, this is not closed course where they need those boats to dig into the turn, and they need to be able to have really good timing. What they want on this is they want the boats out of the water a little bit more. They want them a little more buoyant because of the fact that they're trying to scrub resistance as much as possible. Isahai is putting massive pressure on Teddy Pons. He just got around some of these lapped riders, and he is locked in to Teddy Pons in third. So again, Francois Midori, Kasha, and Pons, Hajime and Riquelme, your top 5. Potpinich in 6th. Francois Midori, the pharmacist out of Corsica, France, always lived in Corsica. 2 girls, and his 2 girls always stay up late and watch. They get to watch their dad out there racing. He's sponsored by Easy Rider, which, by the way, is the gentleman that owns that company, is right behind him in third. That's Teddy's company. Said he loves mountain biking, and when I talk about, a lot of the riders actually have superstitions. Midori said he doesn't really have any at all. Look at Teddy Pons, the birthday boy out there. Him and his buddy Francois Midori are bookending your Hungarian rider, Georgi Kasha. You know what's interesting though? They all race for each other. They don't hold any favorites. Once they're on the water, Francois says, "You know what? We're out there trying to win. It's not about countries at the time. It's really just about individual performance." That's Teddy Pons. As I mentioned, there is Isahai. Hajime Isahai is an amazing rider out of Japan, and Isahai is really pushing hard on Teddy Pons. Isahai is in 4th. Francois Midori just taking a quick look back let's talk about that riding style. Notice that Midori is standing up, and he's doing that a little earlier in the race than he did yesterday in both Moto 1 and Moto 2. And even when he looks like he's sitting, guys, that's actually him crouching down. He's trying to keep as much communication between his legs and the boat and his legs and the boat and the water. It is how they're able to anticipate where that boat is going to be. Because imagine you're trying to keep the nose of the boat or the bow of the boat down. You are also trying to keep as much minimization of this side-to-side traffic. And all of these waves are coming at them at every direction. Take a look at the front of Midori's boat. Notice how well he's staying connected to the water. That is what is transferring him up to the lead and continuing to help him extend the lead. Kasha not letting him really pull away much. He started the race with a 0.3 second difference. He's only at a 0.4 seconds difference behind Francois Midori. Isahai gets around Teddy Pons. Isahai did get around Teddy Pons. So Isahai, your new third place. Isahai with a 1:27.714. Let's talk time. Francois Midori had a 1:27.798. Georgi Kasha had a 1:27.872, and Isahai Hajime with a 1:27.714. Teddy Pons had a 1:32.814. Ruben Jimenez 1:30.250. There's your top five. Pot Panich is at a 1:30.789. Pierpont actually lost his supercharger yesterday, and that cost him a ton of points. Taking a look down, he comes into this with yet another DNF. So race 1, he had a DNF, and race 2, he had a DNS for the Diary Cup. Francois Midori watching this lap traffic as he comes on to the front stretch. Let's check times. He's been really consistent. He had a 1:28, just a little higher than the 1:27 from the lap prior. 1:28.733 for Francois Midori. There's Lino Arahu. Lino is in 7th. Anthony Radatek in 8th. And Ruben Jimenez is in this hunt. All right, Midori looks to put 15 seconds between him and second place. On the last 2 races, it's averaged between 15 seconds or more. With Georgi back out there and underway, it's actually only been 4.4 second difference. And there's Lino Arahu's coming into this one, despite his spectacular starts and being very consistent. First couple of motos, he was second, both of them. Right now, he's sitting at 104 points. Teddy Pons just edged him out yesterday at the Diary Cup. So Arahu is charging, and he's got something to prove. He's back in 7th, and Pons is in 4th. So if that were a chess game, Pons right now is looking solid on strategy. There's Ruben Jimenez Riquelme on boat number 37. Gentleman tied with Lino Arahu. Riquelme has a Pacutos-built boat. He's out of Murcia, Spain. Car mechanic during the day and trains for these types of races with not just on-water work, he also does CrossFit as well. Back to Teddy Pons, your 4th place ride. Also hails from France, 5 world titles over his career. He's really mostly not done a ton of racing. He's been focusing on his company, Easy Rider, but make no mistake, he was a legend in his sport. Kevin was actually giving me a hard time, Kevin Redder, who you're going to see tomorrow. The first day of race, he's like, Don, he's not just a mechanic. I was like, I know. So I went and got some more information on him. So he's got 4 national championships, 5 world titles. And you'll probably recognize this if you've been around racing for a minute. He raced with the likes of Nicholas Rios, who said that was one of his big competitors, as well as Frankie Zapata. Zapata now, of course, has transitioned over to his own company as well. Teddy Pons and Radatek tied in points coming into today after the transfer. That's the tie for 3rd, by the way. And more flags are flying. Francois Midori with went from a 129 to a 130. You know, this is very typical of Francois Midori's riding style. We're about 15 minutes in, so we're right around the halfway mark. Midori's going to bring it back just a little bit. He's going to bring it in, reel in those resources. He's really trying to manage his physicality as well as the boat, trying to save that boat. But you watch the last 5 or so laps of this race, maybe 3 laps, man, that boy turns into a rocket. Francois Midori, Georgi Kasha, and Isahai Hajime, Teddy Pons, and Ruben Jimenez Riquelme, your top 5. Ruben Jimenez Riquelme, man, he had a ton of problems. He also lost a supercharger yesterday. He had a DNF in the first race. Despite that, he was able to get out in race number 2 and ended up with 18th. He was right in the money here on day 1. Right now battling to get back up into top 3. The surprise was Juna Koma. I really expected to see Juna Koma smashing it up out here. He did smash it up, but unfortunately underneath the hood, he too had pretty catastrophic engine failure, and they weren't able to replace it. I love the Chinese team. Shen Shan had a great day yesterday. He was up in that top 5, 4th place for a while, but blew the engine, another supercharger, taking its toll. They've been through 3 engines, and Shen Shan is now on his closed course boat for today. Really wanted to come out and prove something today. Elino Arahu. Very typical ride there. Again, crouching in that seat, not putting his weight all the way down on the seat. He's just trying to feel the water right now. These guys are trying to get a feel for this incredibly difficult, technically, lake. Hard to predict. Look at the wave action there coming from every direction for these guys. And while you would think with endurance, they would actually be a little bit easier to predict, it's not necessarily the truth. Fastest lap time so far for Francois Midori is a 1:19.127, a 1:19.127 for Francois Midori. Wow, that last lap, Midori was slowed down, and then as soon as he got in a comfortable area, he licked it up and smoked Georgi Kasha. And I know very few riders that would add to your gap. I told you only had a 3-second gap for multiple laps. Here we are on lap number 12, and Francois Midori just hit an afterburner. He added a 10-second deficit on top of the 3 seconds between him and Georgi Kasha. Well done, Francois Midori. Beautiful shot of the left-hand side of that lake. .61 seconds is the separation. Yeah, how does somebody get that on Georgi Kasha? That guy is a rocket. Hajime working some lap traffic. That's Isahai. Isahai Hajime, also out of Japan. We had 2 riders. This is the first time we've had 2 riders in the endurance class here on the UAM ABP Aquabike Endurance World Championship. Teddy Pons, happy birthday. Ruben Jimenez Riquelme is working Teddy Pons. He got around Terapotpanich, and now he's up on Teddy Pons' left hip. Teddy Pons playing some defense. Not normally will you see Teddy Pons come in that tight. But Francois Midori pushing through this lap traffic on the front stretch, but Teddy Pons is trying to hold off Ruben Jimenez Riquelme, and it ain't easy. There's Teddy Pons and Ruben Jimenez Riquelme. Watch now, Teddy went wide on that, but I think he predicted that Ruben was going to do it too, and he predicted right. Ruben adjusted coming to the inside, but he did it too late for it to make a difference. Look how close, though, Ruben Jimenez Riquelme is getting. You're watching Teddy Pons from France. Your easy rider owner, business owner, man, that is a very famous mechanic at a very famous company. And him and Ruben Jimenez are duking it out. They just hit the front stretch. Jimenez goes wide, trying to pick him off. And Teddy Pons is going to play a smart game, staying very tight to the buoys. That's not usual unless they're under threat. Jimenez just drops into the inside. Jimenez trying to overtake Teddy Pons, and he's getting within strike distance. They're on the left-hand side of this track. He's got a long run to do it. Will he be able to out-horsepower Teddy Pons? And I think Jimenez may have it. They're side by side. Meanwhile, Francois Midori still leading, but the battle is going on between Jimenez and Pons. That's 4th and 5th. Boat number 30, that is Omar Salih, who's been moving. Didn't start out mid-pack, and he's already up in 9th place. Teddy Pons, looking for Teddy Pons and Ruben Jimenez. There's Teddy Pons. Is he able to still hold off Ruben Jimenez? Oh, we got a rider down. Oh, no, that's the Indonesian rider, Eges Ratag, unfortunately off his boat. And Teddy Pons has got his hand in the air. He's got a boat breaking down, and that is going to be all she wrote for Teddy Pons. Oh, no, he got back going. Now Lino Arahu is up in his pocket. Ruben Jimenez has dropped back into 7th. Permpon Terapotpanic is putting pressure on Teddy Pons. Permpon Terapotpanic and Teddy Pons going at it. So Teddy's in 4th, and Terapotpanic in 5th. Jimenez is out of it. He's dropping back, so Jimenez broke again. Teddy Pons is now trying to hold off the Thai rider. And Terapotpanic is on a fresh boat. They dropped a brand new engine in it yesterday. He was just devastated that he was DNS'd on that last race yesterday at the Diary Cup. Taking that quick turn, Pons trying to hold him off. Permpon coming right up on him. Permpon on that outside on boat number 79. And Teddy Pons is like, nope. Oh, that was a nice move. You know what? Teddy just locked the door down. Closed the door and locked it on Terapotpanic on that last one. Teddy Pons comes into the front stretch, runs it tight. Permpon Terapotpanic gets caught in the wash, and that's going to give Teddy Pons a little breathing room from Terapotpanic. Here's your times between the two. Pons with a 1:30.548, Potpanic with a 1:30.826. Man, it is too close to call. Lino Arahu is right in that mix, and we can't count him out. He came in with a 1:30.278 on lap number 15. We have 24 minutes on the clock, and this race has been very exciting. You can see these riders coming through. Wow. Teddy Pons has received multiple attacks on that 4th place position, and thus far, he has held off every one of them. Francois Midori still leading, Georgi Kasha 2nd, Isahai Hajime 3rd, Teddy Pons, the fighter, still holding 4th. He needs it too. Terapotpanic 5th. Look at Teddy Pons. He's like, no. Mind you, he has not been able to train as heavily as a lot of these other competitors have. Potpanic blowing wide to see if he can sweep him on the turn, gets the broom out. Will he be able to overtake Teddy Pons? So you've got Thailand knocking the door of France. And we're coming up on the right-hand turn. Teddy Pons playing a massive strategy. Good game, holding the line here on that split area as they go into the right-hand turn. He's going to do it again, coming to the front stretch. Man, he almost brushed his elbow against that. Arahu gets around Permpon Terapotpanic, and now Arahu is going to make a run at Teddy Pons. Rahu now has moved into 5th. Teddy Pons is still holding on that 4th place spot. Teddy, you have every bit of our admiration for that. That is one heck of a birthday present if Pons can hold on to that 4th place spot. Potpanich in 6th, Lino Arahu in 5th, Teddy Pons in 4th, Isahaya Hajimi in 3rd, Georgi Kasha proving a point at just how fast Hungarian riders could be. He's in 2nd, and Francois Midori leads. Francois Midori, God, that guy is so smooth. Easy rider for sure. Another easy rider. The gentleman owns that company, Teddy Pons. Teddy's got 2 kids, is a young boy and a little girl, and he said they always watch the races as well. Teddy, if you hold this spot, I hope you hear the live stream. You're going to have to dance for us if you end up on the podium this weekend. All right, they are back on the front stretch. We're just watching these different riders. Now they came off of the back and they're going towards that one right-hand turn. We're just trying to get a steady picture, bear with them. These camera crews are in the most primitive conditions as far as where they are placed on the track. Midori working traffic like a hot knife through butter. Taking a quick look back to see where his buddy is. You can see him standing here to give his lower back some relief, give his legs some relief. These guys have got to use their legs as pistons and suspension at the same time. Got a quick look there at Radja. He's in 7th. There's our shot of that front stretch, and here's Teddy Pons. As I mentioned, still holding on to the 4th. Let's see where we're at. Francois Midori popping out of the water here again. The water conditions really dicey. Look at how the waves are actually attacking the sides of Midori's boat. And Midori's smart. They actually kept that boat as much out of the water as possible when they were putting it together. But Pons and Midori moved everything as far back as they possibly could so that they could keep that boat hooked up. Because the idea here is keep the bow up, keep the bow of the boat as much out of the water and the back end of the boat in the water. They don't want to be caught with any waves sliding over the front of that bow. They need to keep the hook up. Right now it's critical. Pons also standing, getting a little relief on those shoulders and arms. Looked like he was favoring his left shoulder there for a moment. Lino was less than 1 second behind Permpon, and that was just a sweet pass. There's Teddy Pons. And look, he has Lino Arahu just coming into the turn behind him. There's Isahaya Hajimi. Now, Isahaya is in 3rd. Not too much pressure on Isahaya at the moment. He pulled a 1:29.477 on lap number 18. We have 28.4, 28.51 is on the clock. Isahaya Hajimi out of Gunma, Japan, 54 years old, one of the oldest competitors on the water today. Said his life and sports goal is always be a world champion, and he is one of the legends that came out of Japan. Great to see him. 2 riders from Japanese riders coming here this weekend. Sponsored by Nagai Designs, Marine Mechanic, Elf, and Tohoku Tross. You're watching Isahaya here, your 3rd place rider, and he too just pops to the front stretch. And this is one of the trickier sections. Watch the bow of that boat. See how he's having really a tough time with that hookup? It is because of the cross section, and those waves are mirroring back right on top of him. And again, they had to create a lighter boat to be able to handle endurance racing. The whole idea here is less weight but more hookup. And I don't want to say they're detuning them because they want those boats to be as fast as possible, but they did detune just a little bit because they need that boat to be able to last for 35 minutes plus a lap. Kasha in a very signature riding style. He's just a legend. He's trained a lot of other riders out of Hungary, and he's worked on a tremendous number of boats. He too has a boat shop and well known as a mechanic. He's done a lot of innovations to include tricking out different custom seats and custom hulls. Just a great individual, good rider. You're watching Francois Mandori, the pharmacist. I talked about it yesterday, but not chemically induced, because we are a part of the Olympics and we are endorsed by them. We go by a lot of their rules, the UIM does, and because of that, these guys are periodically tested by the WADA committee, and it's pretty impressive that we're able to be a part of that. So they've got to really be clean. So if these riders come down with a cold or anything, they're not allowed really to take much, not antibiotics or ibuprofen. You're watching Teddy Pons. Man, what a spectacular birthday you're having, bud. Scooting through, we were actually looking for Lino Arahu, but Teddy Pons has gotten a second wind here as we creep up on the final few minutes. We're at 31:20 on the clock. You're watching the Simalungun Cup, and this has been a ruckus for sure. Dropping into the front stretch as they make these turns. You just got to see Lino Arahu come through. Here's some new times, a 1:35.354 for Francois Mandori at lap number 20. Georgi Kasha, a 1:28.914. Little slow, he's a little faster than Francois Mandori. Isahai Hajime with a 1:30.541. Teddy Pons with a 1:29.469. Teddy has been feeling the pressure, but he has held off every attack. Just so impressive. Lino Arahu with a 1:30.774. Pot Pinich with a 1:31.211. That gives you a lay of the land as we work our way through. And respect to Kylie Elmers in top 10. Atzal Baristal in 9th. Omut Salih is in 7th. Anthony Radatek is in, Omut Salih is in 8th. Anthony Radatek in 7th. Falin Salih, your Cambodian rider, is in 11th. Shen Shan is in 12th. Johan Johansson in 13th. Lino Arahu, will he be able to get around Teddy Pons? 34 years old. Lino Arahu with 3 hole shots the last couple of days. Just a spectacular ride for a gentleman that we were afraid we were not going to be able to see again after suffering a heartbreaking diagnosis. He actually was diagnosed with cancer, and we thought Lino was not going to be able to compete anymore. Not only did he get back in remission, but came back strong and is right up here in the Honeys in 5th. Watching Francois Mandori, your race leader, as we hit the 33.17 mark. Having a hard time seeing the screen here. All right, Francois Mandori on the front stretch. A 1:28.373 with Georgi Kasha, a 1:27.009. And it's going to be Isahai Hajime with a 1:30.257. Teddy Pons, a 1:31.554. You are killing it, Pons. Arahu with a 1:31.322. He's still holding Arahu off. Parapot Pinich has got a 1:35.212, and Anthony Radatak with a 1:35.431. Anthony has been stupidly consistent the last 2 days. And I tell you what, it's so funny to come down there and hang out with Anthony. He hails from Alabama, and I talked to him today, and he was like, Dawn, I'm just sailing through this, trying to survive. But man, he lies to me. He's been riding like a demon out there. Again, Anthony Radatek in 7th. Omut Salih 8th. Atzal Baristal 9th. Kylie Elmers in 10th. Let's go back to the screen. Francois Mandori, the Corsican, riding like a warrior now. Let's take a look if he starts picking up the pace, because just about now he does. He was at a 1:30 and he's already dropped it back to a 1:28. We have 34.43 on the clock. Mandori locking in to the front stretch. Cruising, let's see. Yeah, he's even faster, guys. His last couple laps, he knows what's coming. A 1:28.127 for Francois Mandori, and you can expect the next 2 laps to be a ruckus. We're at 35.11 for Francois Mandori. You're watching the Simalungun Cup So McDory, Kasha with a 1:30.587, locking in and playing some redemption. Now, mind you, Georgi Kasha, as I talked about earlier, this is just his second year of racing in endurance. He's been mainly a closed course racer. And closed course racing and endurance are vastly different. It doesn't seem like it, but everything about the boats and also how you attack this type of a course, it's night and day. If you can imagine in closed course racing, which you're going to get a chance to watch tomorrow, closed course racing, it is all about microaggression. Every single tiny thing is built for speed, thrust, and reaction. And in endurance, you flip the clock completely. You want to be smooth, you want to be connected, you want your boat to be as light as possible, and you want to make sure that your intake rate and your combination are all designed to keep the hookup. And speaking of hookup, look at the last 2/3 of Midori's boat. See how none of that is just really being reactive to the water. He's riding very quiet, and the boat handles very quiet. Checker flag is coming up for Francois Midori from Corsica. Congratulations. That was pharmaceutically beautiful. Since you're a pharmacist, I thought I'd throw that at you. Georgi Kasha takes second. Going to be Isahai Hajime for third, and all of the team coming in. Easy Rider, Mika Pare down there. And what an incredible run. Wow, spectacular for Francois Midori. Isahai Hajime brings her in third. Great job for Isahai. That's going to be Teddy Pons. Just waiting for the final couple of riders to come through. Teddy Pons locks in for fourth. Lino Arahu just hits the front stretch for fifth. And once again, we're just taking a look at the riders down there on the beach, right here in Parapet. What a gorgeous place we've got here behind us. Pretty famous for rock climbing and other spectacular activities, but this week we are all about jet ski racing, and we're definitely all about the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship endurance style. All right, World Championship standings. Midori with 115, Radatek with 113, Pons with 108, and Rahu coming with 104, Jimenez with 99, and Isahai with 99. Now that was before we went to this first moto of the day. On the final day, we'll get you those updates when we come back for moto number 2. So again, your winners and your top 3 as you've got posted up all the standings all the way down to 33. Came into this event with 33 riders, and we really didn't lose a ton of them. 27, which is not normal, actually. Normally we have 27 of them. Well, I've certainly had an amazing morning and had the opportunity to enjoy the incredible hospitality of Simalungun. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to prep for this afternoon's races. Do not go far away. We will be back 2 p.m. local time, bringing you moto number 2 and our final race of the day. It's been just an enjoyable morning and a wonderful time hanging out with you. Horas, horas, horas. I'll see you later. back to the UIM ABP Aquabike Endurance World Championship right here, right now in Lake Toba, Indonesia. We are rumbling and ready for the final race of the Simalungun Cup, as well as the World Endurance Championship. We've just completed race number 1 this morning, broadcasting here from the village of Pod. Our riders endured a long transfer this morning from base camp in Pingu Rurong, a grueling 3.1 kilometer race for over 35 minutes, and it's all coming down to this final race. Who will be your Simalungun Cup champion? And most of all, who will be your Aquabike Endurance World Champions? Find out with me right now. But first, welcome to wild and beautiful Lake Toba. We're racing in the Simalungun Regency in the village of Parapet. Here you're in the home of the Batak people, a culture rich in mythology and tradition spanning thousands of years. Their home is by the shores of the mystical Lake Toba, one of the deepest lakes in the world. This location is surrounded by lush rainforests, towering waterfalls, and panoramic hilltops. The caldera is part of a supervolcano, making it a perfect location for some of the best agricultural produce in the world, including coffee and tea. The attraction of Lake Toba has largely been centered around port tourism, but it also reveals the warmth and friendliness of the Batak community. This is one of the most beautiful and underrated regions of Indonesia. Take a moment and enjoy all of this incredible Instagram-worthy moments as we share with you this Indonesia. All right, we're back. We're doing a little bit of freestyle. That's Rashid Al Mullah on the water, last year's world champion and a multiple world champion here on the UIM ABP Aquabike Endurance World Championship Finals. This is the final day, and it's the final moto, and we're one of the prettiest places on the planet. World standings as it is right now, Midori's leading after moto number 1 today with 140 points. Radja in second, and Pons is in third. I'll give you a little more about that and the recap in just a moment. But right now, let's just enjoy some freestyle and a show. You're watching the Simalungun Cup in Lake Toba. Parapet's a small little village and port in the Simalungun Regency. It is, by the way, the most direct and primary transit point to Samosir Island and also to Medan. And you can see the crowd's loving the show between Rashid Al Mullah and Yassine Fadli. So you got the UAE and Morocco represented out on the water right now. Both these guys are going to start competition as we begin the World Championship round for the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship, and that is going to be a spectacle for sure. And we are getting the riders out and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and do the recap now from moto number 1. Francois Midori with the whole shot. Georgi Kasha came charging out of the gate this morning to finish second after a lot of engine troubles over the past couple of days. Hajimi Isahai finished in third. He overtook Teddy Pons, who held him off for 6 laps. Lino Arahu, on the other hand, had a real tough start. He moved from 10th, moved all the way up to 5th. Anthony Radja also moved up through the pack. He started in 12th and came up all the way to 7th. Ruben Jimenez Riquelme broke and ended up not finishing, as well as Indonesian rider Eges Ratag. We'll be back with more right after this.
The final showdown in Lake Toba, Indonesia. World-class riders, breathtaking scenery, non-stop action. The UIM Aquabike World Championship jets into the Grand Prix of Lake Toba, Indonesia. 5 days of full throttle action on the largest volcanic lake in the world, testing the limits of rider and machine. Days of the endurance racing from the 13th to the 15th of November. Then the finale of the World Championship from the 16th to the 17th of November, where scores will be settled in the 2024 season. Don't miss the thrilling finale of the UIM Aquabike World Championship.
Salamat sore. Welcome back to the Aquabike World Grand Prix of Lake Toba. And once again, your recap, Midori, Kasha, and Isahai in that order in Moto number 1. And man, that really flipped a few of the standings, and it definitely put a French flavor on your championship. Here's what it looks like. In the World Championship standings right now, Midori's got 140 points, Ratatek with 127, and Teddy Pons has 126. That is going to continue to heat up as we get ready for Moto 2. Arahu also in this mix after amazing charge from mid-pack up into that 6th place finish, and then Arahu with 120 points, Isahai with 119. That's where it stands as we get ready to go. The timers are all cleared. We've got a 35-minute moto once again ahead of us, and a lap or wherever they finish after they get the 35, if they're a half a lap or whatever. So the starting line, once again, we're going to be working a regatta-style start. I think you guys are really going to enjoy that. I had great feedback on it last year, so they brought that back again this year. That was part of Marco Petrini's design to have a very equal start, and it certainly has been working out that way. Now, it's tricky, though. We'll talk more about it in just a minute. Let's take a look here at what's happening. We've got Parade of Nations. These guys are getting ready to show off all their different countries. We, of course, will help highlight, and Indonesia in the forefront there. You're taking a look at some of the Indonesian riders, including boat 99. That is Trinity Ratag, actually not able to make it out here today. Lucky Limanjawa is out there. Ege's Ratag, also from Indonesia. Kanina Ramadina, Lingga Kumara, just naming off some of these riders. Makeo Wemley, so many fast and great ones. And of course, Ege's Ratag, the brilliant 15-year-old student, hails out of Jakarta, Indonesia. We had 10 riders entered this weekend from Indonesia, a huge representation. And we just got through, you could probably hear them talking in the background, we just got through with a big award ceremony for the Indonesian Championship. So very cool to get an opportunity to watch that. All right, we're just about ready to get underway. We're going to do the Parade of Nations first, and then from there, we are going to go racing. You know, last year, France swept all of the titles except for freestyle. That went to the UAE. This year, however, is it going to be any different? I don't know, because France is currently in the lead on the points in endurance. Will we have another sweep from France in 2024? You're going to have to stick with us the next 2 days to find out. All right, our dignitaries are underway. These are all of the representatives. We've got some of the top guns from the Regency on the boat today, as well as our safety crews. And of course, we are proudly waving the Aquabike flag as well as the Indonesian flag. Wonderful Indonesia is their slogan, and it certainly has been wunderbar. It's the only other word I know and says for wonderful. I'll have to look up the Indonesian word for wonderful for us. Getting a chance to look at the different countries here. Let's talk about them. France, USA, Japan, China, Hungary, Cambodia, Thailand, Portugal, Spain, Serbia, Italy, Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, and Sweden. Just naming a few of them. I think we have over 25 countries. And we'll get the total country count as we head into the closed course racing starting tomorrow. Definitely want to get all of your beverages and snacks lined up. Get you a good spot in front of the television, because I promise you, today, tomorrow, and Sunday are definitely a not miss if you love jet ski racing as much as we do. Again, we're about to go live in just a minute with the racing, but right now, Parade of Nations is happening. Here in Indonesia, we are having an amazing time. We're on Lake Toba, or Danau Toba. It's a large natural lake. We're in North Sumatra, Indonesia. But if you take a look at this place on Google Earth, it is a caldera of a super volcano. That's actually where we're hanging out. We are on top of a super volcano. Crazy. We're in the middle of the northern part of Sumatra, and the elevation here has been a booger for these guys. Gorgeous for us. It's at 2,900 feet. But for the riders and the mechanics, it's been a bit of a bear to deal with it because altitude has definitely stolen a lot of the horsepower. But they are accommodating quite nicely. Everybody's been propping down, changing the pitch on the impellers, and removing as much weight as possible, particularly for this endurance race. They're wanting these boats to come out of the water, and they're trying to decrease as much drag as they possibly can. This lake is 62 miles long, just to give you some perspective, and 19 miles wide, and it's 1,600 foot deep. So we got a monster. And speaking of monsters, Francois Midori has been undeniably dominant the past couple of days, but not what you would have thought was going to happen if you took a look at us on day number 1. And unfortunately, he broke on that first cup, first moto, and it cost him much needed points. Certainly hasn't affected him since. He's come back like a rocket ship, and thus far, he has looked amazing. You can see San Germano, Ramondo San Germano on the boat, as well as several dignitaries. Beautiful location here. We're just showing you this area and all the different fans, including Ricky Sitombul down there, your local announcer. He's just amazing. I've had the pleasure to be on the microphone with him in the past. We'll be doing the awards right after this, and we'll give you all the updates on that as well. After today, we'll be heading over to Pengu-Rurong. That's going to be our base camp, or has been our base camp for the whole week. But we're going to start racing at our base camp tomorrow. And then you get a chance to see some closed course racing. Right now, though, we are all in for endurance. Michelle Kadai. There's Johan Johansson, who, by the way, is retiring after this. This will be his last official race this weekend. After that, he's just going to be supporting the kids, Sam and Yanina, traveling around. Sam and Yanina both assured me he would not be a mechanic, however. Funny backstory on that. Sam said he didn't want Johan working on his boats. Not because he's not great, it's just he's got enough to do. What a beautiful place we're getting to hang out here. I have to say the transfer this morning was amazing. It was a big one, though. That 48 kilometers was a monster. It took us a little while to get over here. And we have to prep for all of that. And these riders are only allowed to bring one mechanic with them. So generally they get the support of the whole team. Not the case for these guys during these transfers. They have to deal with just them and the mechanic and whatever parts they can fit in according to the weight sizes. You can see Isahai Hajime dropping his flags off, and the rest of the riders, it's Cavallo. Boat number 3, Dos Santo Gavea. And we're ready. We are definitely just a few moments away from this final race, and I've got to imagine that the BPMs are starting to increase for all the riders. One of the coolest recaps from Moto number 1 was Teddy Pons, a gentleman celebrating a birthday today. I didn't even know, I think he's a Scorpio, if you're into horoscopes and astrology. And the backstory on that is in Moto number 1, he had attacks from Lino Arahu, Ruben Jimenez Riquelme, and Isahai Hajime. Even Perpam Terapatpanich, and of all 4 of them, only Isahai was able to get around Teddy Pons. Incredible rider. You're looking at boat number 14 right now. Happy birthday, sir. Hope you're having a great one. You certainly got a lot to be happy about after that. That was some of the best defense I've seen all week. Let's see if he's able to do that and hold on to that spot. Pons is currently in third, but it is dicey. Arahu's got 120 points for fourth, and Isahai has 119. I mean, it's just ridiculously close. Radatek has got 127, he's second. And of course, Midori, after this win, number one, despite the DNF, has got a nice cushy little gap between him and the rest of the riders. He's got 140. All right, I think we're set up. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the live stream. We are 3 minutes from go time. 3 minutes from go time. All right, let's talk about the regatta start. I've been mentioning it a couple of times. Regatta start works like this. They're going to get them over there and get them set up. The course marshals are there to sort of watch where they're picking their positions, and then the next thing the course marshals are going to do is put their hands in the air and the flag in the air, and they are going to indicate when we hit the 60-second mark. And when we hit that 60-second mark, it's going to go from semi-important to real nerve-wracking, because from 60 seconds counting down, they've got to circle to the left and try to keep that position, and then they've got to be able to maintain this opportunity for a whole shot. So they've got to be very sharp about how they count down that 60 seconds. And I've heard all kinds of ways that they've been trying to do that as they get ready, and you can see a perfect example of that. They look like they're lurking out there like barracudas, and that is certainly what is happening, because they're trying to get into position. Once they pick the spot and the course marshals blow the whistle, then it's going to get real. It's a pretty shot coming into it too. You get a chance to see them. We started with 33 riders. We are working now with 27, I believe, back out on the track as we finish up. So we didn't have near as much breakdowns. We had a lot of breakdowns. We didn't have near as much on the overall, so they allow them to come back in. Now, each day is a cup. So we started with the Karo Cup at the beginning of the week, and then we followed that with the Diary Cup, and then today we are finishing up with the Simalungun, and right now the fans are behind us all cheering us on as we get ready to go. They're very excited to see the racing. I don't know about you, but I am also.
People in here in Simalungun. Race komentator kepanjangan live streaming kami adalah Daun Johnson, yang merupakan juga adalah race komentator untuk kejuaraan dunia jet ski baik di Eropa dan
Just a few moments away.
untuk wisatawan live streaming di tahun keduanya yang saat ini hadir di Danau Toba.
Whew, what a day. You know, the only thing missing on this is John Bruno Pastorello. He was your winner last year, took the overall. Radatek was in that top grouping as well. Actually, since I started talking about that, let me just give it to you. I'll give you the results from last year. Give me 2 seconds here. John Bruno Pastorello took the win last year. Anthony Radatek was second. Rashid Altair third. Georgi Kasha fourth. And Francois Midori, who's currently in the lead, was top 5. Now, that was last year. We're missing most of those riders with the exception of Francois Midori, who is back. And right now, Francois Midori is in the lead in points. I don't know about you, but that feels like it isn't a coincidence to me. Got the seasoning from year number 1, and Francois Midori knows exactly what he needs to do as he preps for this year. And thus far, it has been picture perfect for him. I got to tell you, after that DNF, I didn't know if he was going to be able to come back. But not only did he do that, but he passed Lino Arahu, who had a amazing series of hole shots, 3 in a row. And oh, I hear the whistle. It sounds to me like they're ready to go. Let's take a look out on the water. Nope, they haven't called the 60 seconds yet. Yellow flag is still up from the course marshals. They did whistle. They are now getting ready for the countdown. They're going to be going long, so they're going on that back far side, and then they'll do the start. Looks like Lino Arahu just popped out of there. Johan Johansson, Francois Midori, also good starts. I don't see Georgi Kasha. It is Lino Arahu with the hole shot. Now, he got docked for too fast of a hole shot yesterday, but prior to that, he had 3 hole shots in a row. And right now, he is on fire. Him and Malte just put the heck of a combination together this year, and a shout out to this rider from Portugal. What an inspiring story about Lino Arahu fighting cancer and coming back. And right now he is charging on this track. We've got 35 minutes and it's officially on as we roll it. Throttles full, focus. Don't have to say another word about that, right? They're in and they hit the front stretch. Let's do the official call. It is Lino Arahu with the official hole shot. Oh my goodness, look at boat number 4 is second, that's Georgi Kasha. Teddy Pons up in 3rd. Midori in 4th. Michelle Kadai is in 5th. And Isahai Hajime is in 6th. What an amazing start. We are fully underway. And Lino Arahu has got every one of those horses going full throttle. All right, so nuts. Again, Lino Arahu with the hole shot. Georgi Kasha, what a rock star he is. I wish he had his boats working 2 days ago. He started in that first moto and he was doing great, and then that boat literally imploded. There wasn't anything left on those parts he could use, so he spent all day yesterday working and rebuilding the boat, and he came back out and he said, Don, it's my first year of racing, last year in endurance. He's been a closed course racer for years, and right now he is rocking it out on the track. Speaking of rocking it, you're watching your race leader, Lino Arahu. Lino Arahu out of Portugal. He's 34 years old, born there, always lived there. And he is screaming through this front stretch. Let's give you some times. His first lap is a 1:17.833. Georgi Kasha has the fastest lap time. Had a 1:14.710. I saw him tweaking the boat on the break, and that certainly made a difference. Teddy Pons just came in a 1:19.968. Francois Midori with a 1:20.193 for Midori. Kadai had a 1:21.349. And Burristan, a 1:21.827, and Isahai with a 1:22.074. So Burristan has jumped up into 6th ahead of Isahai after that start. There's your rundown, and there is Georgi Kasha. But he is pretty happy right now. He's 41. He's out of Budapest. He used to do drift car racing, by the way. He owns his own gym and a workshop, and he said he can't wait. He likes coming out during this time of the year because it gets a little quieter in the gym, gives him a little bit more time to focus. And man, speaking of focus, look at the intensity on that boat. That gentleman is full in. And it's Francois Midori right behind him. Kasha got around Lino Arahu. Kasha just made a move around Lino Arahu. Wow, he told me he really wanted to make his mark today, and what a great job. Georgi Kasha just made the pass on Lino Arahu right as they came to the front stretch. What a wild ride for the gentleman from Hungary. Him and his wife Ildi have a little boy. He's about 1.5 years, and I bet you money they're all watching it. His first time on a jet ski was 6 years old. He's always been focused on closed course racing, and right now he's transferring over to endurance. There's Francois Midori in 4th. Georgi Kasha, and there's Teddy Pons, the birthday boy. Teddy Pons up in 3rd. Teddy Pons with the company Easy Rider. He's one of the top mechanics in the world, literally. Every time you see Easy Rider on the side of the boat, I promise you that's going to be a podium possibility. Just that good. I didn't realize how good of a closed course racer he was. I knew he'd raced in the past, but I didn't know he was this good, and definitely as good in endurance as well. These two disciplines are vastly different, by the way, between closed course and endurance racing. He certainly does an amazing job at both. Now, he's been out of the racing scene for the past couple of years, truly focusing on the mechanic side. Georgi Kasha is doing a great job. Look at that. We're in lap number 3, and Kasha's already in lap traffic. He had a 1:16.794. That is the fastest lap time clocked on the track today. This last lap with a 1:16.794. Lino Arahu with a 1:20.319. Teddy Pons with a 1:21.032 is in third. Francois Midori with a 1:20.416. You've got a long shot here of this track. Now you get an indication of the massiveness that we're dealing with. This is 3.1 kilometers, and they've got to go 35 minutes plus a freaking lap. It's exhausting to get through this. And it's not just them. They got to deal with their bodies plus the boat. Kasha is literally smoking hot right now. Ildi, you got to be proud of that girl. Ildi is his wife. She also was a racer for many years. I'm sure she's pretty happy to see this. Georgi Kasha, a 1:14.710, fastest lap time of the day. Got a very signature riding style, and he's got a really cool customized seat, and they moved that seat a little further back for endurance racing. The idea on that was to be able to get extra hookup, and that certainly paid off. I saw them working on the computers as they were changing the power bands. It was crazy. Boat number 70 is working around Lino Arahu. I think actually lap traffic for Lino. He's just working some lap traffic. Lino Arahu in second, but he's under investigation. 1:24.160 for Lino Arahu. That might have been a start issue because, man, he came out of there awfully quick. Who knows? Might not. We'll find out. Lino Arahu, second. Teddy Pons, third. Midori, who has been leading in this, is back in that 4th place spot. Probably won't make a difference for him in the overall. He can stay in that top 4. He's going to be fine. We'll give you some predictions in just a minute. That's the backstretch you're taking a look at. Again, this is the first time this weekend, or this week, we've been doing a right-hand track. The first 2 cups, we did a left-hand track. And then after that, we went to right just to mess up everybody. Because we're evil in a good way. All right. Georgi Kasha with that signature yellow top part of the wetsuit. Look, they had a dry suit on, actually, or at least a dry suit top. And then he always rides a black boat, and I've always seen him on a number 5. That's his favorite race number. He's a 12-time Hungarian champion, a 9-time world champion, sponsored by Kasha Racing. That's his place. He builds boats. He does a lot of innovations on closed course racing. He's been a big force in this industry, and right now he is a big time in the lead. Last lap was a 1:19.727. So he's been a 1:14, a 1:16, and a 1:19 as we work our way through. We're on lap number 5. We've got 8:20 on the clock. Just taking a look here on the live stream. Wow, isn't this just, this location is, it's hard to stay focused. It's so pretty. You just want to go out and glance to all the gorgeous forest, and the water is insane. There's Isahai. Hajime Isahai, by the way, is back in 6th. Ratatek in 7th. Atzal Baristal in 8th. And Johan Johansson 9th. Kylie Elmers is in 10th. Coming through that checker flag area and those buoys, there's Isahai. Isahai is in 3rd. He's on boat number 87, the rider out of Japan. And Isahai's got 119 points coming into this one. He's in 5th. Arahu in 4th with 120. Pons in 3rd with 126. Ratatek 2nd. Midori leading. So currently, as I can promise you, there's no way Kasha will be able to make the world standings, but he's got a heck of a shot at the Simalungun Cup. Watching Teddy Pons in 3rd. Also from France, 42. And he is a great rider. Oh, we almost had lots of bonding happening on the front stretch. Boat number 14, Teddy Pons, pushing Lino Arahu. There's Georgi Kasha. Watching this riding style is pretty fun with him. He also rides kind of hunched over. He's just rolled his shoulders in, staying very focused. He has an interesting angle on his endurance handlebars. He's actually rotated those bars up. The reason for that is it gives him a little bit of relief as well. And he's moved his footwells. He actually changed his footwells. They use their legs and their feet to really read the water and read the waves. And Kasha is a master of that, particularly in the closed course racing. I've never seen anything like this gentleman race. I watched him in Poland about 12 years ago. He had just put on a new seat on his boat, went into lap number 3 in that Poland championship, and sure enough, the screws on the seat came off and he went flying through the air. He went off the boat in the water, came back after the course marshals put him back on. He passed 25 riders to take the win. That is how good this gentleman is that you're watching on the water. This is Georgi Kasha, a 1:23.724. 14, Teddy Pons, pushing Lino Arahu. He's in third. His lap time was a 1:26.174. He's 34 seconds off the leader. Him and Lino Arahu going at it. Francois Mondori has got to be creeping up, knowing how he likes to race. Let's do the rundown for top 10. And there's Pons working lap traffic. Pretty tight on that turn. These guys are staying a little closer, particularly on the front stretch. Part of the reason for that, they're staying so close to the buoy. We've got this course set back very deep into this bay area, and we're literally, I don't know, maybe 400 feet from 500 feet from that turn buoy to the docks and where we're located. So they have to turn a little tight, maybe tighter than they normally would on these buoys for the endurance course on that front stretch. Pons is riding pretty typical right now. He's going to crouch position, aggressive ride, feeling this water, which you can see is super unpredictable for them. Having to really change the way they run these boats. And Teddy Pons looks very comfortable back there. See how big that back seat is, and look at him, he's actually perched over the top of the back part of that custom seat. And by the way, those seats are built up about 1.5 feet, almost 2 foot from where you're able to sit in the seat. The reason for that, in closed course racing, everything is so much more aggressive and quick, like quick reaction time, very aggressive. Endurance is almost time lapse for them anyway, if they're used to racing both disciplines. And because of that, they're out of their seat a lot more than they normally would. But when you watch the closed course racing this weekend, it's really different to watch. Hope you guys join us for both. Right now, Georgi Kasha, 1:24.909, run lap number 9, 13:12 in. Lino Arahu with a 1:27.585, and second Teddy Pons with a 1:27.707. And again, just a good shot here of this front stretch section. You can see what I'm talking about, how close they are. Finish line is also very close to that turn buoy, so they've not only got to turn tight, but they got to play smart. Lino Arahu coming through, 1:27.091. Lino Arahu, boat 27. He gets the credit for the most hole shots this week. He's a 2-time runabout GP2 Portuguese champion, a 3-time runabout GP1 Portuguese champion. And his first win ever was back in 2016. Watching Lino Arahu just a moment ago. Your second place rider with the 1:27.091. He is, however, got a red banner on his number, and that's because he is under investigation. So he'll have to come in. Now, the investigations, you have to come up and talk to the race officials if you want to argue that. You've only got a certain amount of time to do that, and if you do want to do a protest, you also have to lay down some money for it. And it is worth it because it is quite a bit of a penalty if you do premature start. Just taking a look, really. It's 30-second penalty if you jump. So again, Lino Arahu, that could be a hurt module for sure if he gets docked for that. You're watching Lino. Again, 3 hole shots this morning. Portuguese rider, works in his family's business. Also used to ride race motocross. Says that's why he loves runabout so much. I love his life goals, by the way. Be happy and be a world champion. Okay, Lino, we'll all go for that. What a cool guy. And again, these guys are only allowed 1 mechanic. Whoa, that's Francois Midori trying to take out Isahai Hajime. Midori was in 4th. Isahai got around him, and now he's trying to retake him. So again, your update, Francois Midori was in 4th, Isahai in 5th, and Isahai got around him, and now Midori is trying to overtake or come back and get him. Francois Midori does not need to be moving backwards. Right now he's got a pretty comfortable lead. If nothing changes, it's Midori, Pons, and Lino. By the way, Radatek just 1 point behind Lino. And Anthony is hunting Michel Kadai. Got around him, he's up in 6th now, he was in 7th. So Anthony on this charge as well. Now he's faced with Isahai and Francois. No problems. Only some of the top riders around the globe. You got this. All right, again, your top 6, Kasha, Arahu, Pons, Midori, Hajime, Radatek, Kadai, Beristan, and Elmers. And your Indonesian champion, Eges Ratag, that's your top 10. Watching just for a moment there, we got to see boat number 5, Georgi Kasha. This is Lino Arahu on 27, your 2nd place rider. The gentleman who is in a massive points run. This was smart that Lino jumped out as hard as he did. Let's see if that penalty hurts him, because if it does, Radatek will move into 3rd. But that is your battle for the podium. And Arahu trying to hold on to 3rd at the moment. Georgi Kasha, boat number 5. 9-time world champion. And he comes through that front stretch. He's actually lapped up to 10th place. That was Kylie Elmers that he just went by on the front stretch. Georgi Kasha is now lapped up to 10th. And Radatek is on the cruise, which is hilarious because every time I talk to Anthony Radatek, he downplays how a great rider he is. Every time I ask him, like, so what are you going to do this moto? And he's like, yeah, Dawn, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to try to hold on and chill. It's brutal out here. Lino Arahu just came through, so a good 42 seconds difference between him and Georgi Kasha. Georgi Kasha is opening up his own postal code out there. Boat 22, the double deuce. That is Anthony Radatek. He's back in 6th, man. Did another charge, talking about nuts. He did the same thing this morning. Watching Anthony Radatek, and now your leader, Georgi Kasha. Again, Kasha, Arahu, Pons, Hajime, Midori, Radatek, and Kadai. We're on lap number 13 for Kasha. Oh, wow. Kasha's lapped up middle of the top 10 even. Nuts. Kylie Elmers has moved up to 8th. Eges Ratag in 9th. Michel Kadai having boat problems. He's back in 10th. Permpon Terapapanich is 11th. Falin Salih is 12th. Johan Johansson 13th. Shin Shan on boat 14 on a brand new boat. Shin also has had major dramas with the boats this week. Came in with no points yesterday after 2 breaks. They went back and rebuilt, dropped a new engine in. They're on a new boat and a new engine, a little bit heavier on the boat. And he said, I am out to prove something. Right now he's trying to work up through the pack, talking about boat 33. Double deuce. goes Anthony Radja, looking effervescent out on the water. There's a backstory. He is something else. Just one of the funnest guys on the tour, and he's actually an amazing ambassador. He is a gentleman that got paralyzed. His lower body got paralyzed in a massive helicopter accident. He was a helicopter pilot, but one of the toughest guys you'll ever meet. He's a 3-time Ironman champion, a 2-time offshore world champion, and a European offshore champion. Podiumed here last year at the Endurance Championship. There's Isahai Hajime, and Lino Arahu has dropped way back into 6th. Isahai Hajime 2nd, Teddy Pons 3rd, Francois Midori in 4th. Anthony Radja has moved up, and Lino Arahu is in trouble. And that is going to be enough to move Anthony Radja into the podium. So your podium just shifted as well. Midori, Pons, and Radja. Isahai up in 2nd. So Lino Arahu, they were looking at that boat. They said they had some problems with that boat in Moto number 1, but I thought they got it fixed. Gonçalo Rodrigues has been helping them out, another great man out of Portugal. Past racer on the Portuguese team. And he said they had it fixed, but maybe started coming unglued again. Isahai Hajime, your 2nd place rider out of Japan. 54 years fast for Isahai. Just an amazing, lives in Gunma. 6-time Japanese champion. His first race ever was in 1993, and right now he is showing that age has no problem, or age has no, I don't know what you would put that, it has no difference out on the water. 54 and still as fast as these other guys. He trains very consistently and has a really cool team sponsored by Nagai Designs. Back to the race leader, 1:27.377. He still holds the track time of a 1:14.710. It's the fastest time today. Hailing from Hungary. Hungary. That's funny, Dawn. Hails from Hungary. I'll just make up countries today. 1:27.377. This last lap, we're on lap 15. Georgi Kasha's got to be feeling good right now. All he's got to do is hold it together for another 10-ish minutes. We're 22:37. Everything about this race is going to tax you. It taxes your body, it taxes you mentally, because you've got to stay focused and you can't move your focus away from any other rider. You've got to watch that water. Very, very tricky water. I've talked to the riders over the week, and every single one of them have said this is incredibly tough riding in these conditions. Pons is right there in the foreground, pushing on Isahai Hajime. Francois Midori 4th, Radja 5th, Beristan in 6th, and yeah, Lino Arahu completely out of it. 27, he's going to be bringing it in. Unfortunately for Lino Arahu, he's got to exit the field. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. Gentleman that had the podium is going to have to surrender and go see what's going on with that boat. Doubt he'll be able to bring it back out. He's not going to have enough time. 23:37 is on the clock. Georgi Kasha has got the reins of Moto number 2 here for the Simalungun Cup. And the Frenchman and the Japanese rider are hunting him hard. Isahai Hajime in 2nd with a 1:25.365. Teddy Pons in 3rd with a 1:34.689. And Francois Midori with a 1:36.319. Bows down. Got the intake grate hooked up. Right now it's all about connection, and it is definitely about keeping that intake grate and that prop and the impeller just hooked up as much as possible. Every single thing is counting. Midori right in that hunt behind Anthony Radja. Did you see him? Radja and Midori trying to work the inside of Radja and get around him. Midori knows he's got to move up. Simalungun Cup prediction would be Kasha, Midori, and Isahai. Look at the young lady out of Australia. She actually born and raised in New Zealand. Kylie Elmer's up in 7th. In fact, let's do the top 10 for you. Georgi Kasha in the lead, Isahai Hajime in 2nd, Anthony Radatek in 3rd, Francois Midori in 4th, Teddy Pons in 5th, Atsal Baristan in 6th, Kylie Elmer's in 7th, Eges Ratag in 8th, Philin Sali in 9th, Michelle Cadet rounds out your top 10, Perpom Terapopinich is 11th. That's what it looks like right now. Radatek still holding off Midori. He is charging through, trying to get around Shen Shan. Shen Shan is kind of blocking because Midori's moving to the outside of Radatek, trying to work a little clean line there. Let's see if he can make a move on Radatek. Man, Radatek's boat is wicked quick. Speaking of Anthony, he's had the Sea-Doo crew out here helping him. Not helping, but he's been filming Sea-Doo Indonesia. A shout out to those guys. And Sea-Doo, they've been doing interviews with him and taking him around different areas of Indonesia this week. So he's been modeling in his off time. Anthony Radatek cruising. Midori hunting. Look at him hunting. Just bearing down. Right now, Midori is locked into that seat and trying to put pressure on Radatek. Meanwhile, no pressure here for Georgi Kasha, sorry. Having a heck of an afternoon here pronouncing names. So Georgi Kasha screaming through this pack. He has lapped all the way up into 6th. You're watching the race action here live in Sumatra. We are in an area known Parapat, and this is the Simalungun Cup, and it has been a gorgeous day for us. We've had rain throughout this region throughout the week, but every single one of these cups we have not had any rain, which is crazy. 27:05 on the clock. We've only got 7-ish more minutes to go for these guys. Michelle Cadet, your 10th place rider, right in the right-hand side of the track. And this water has been vicious to the riders. You can see Radatek trying to hold on. Boat number 95 is down. 95 is, Fikri Radja. Tough break for Fikri Radja. One of the Indonesian riders is down. Got the course marshals over there taking care of him. Georgi Kasha, Isahai Hajime, and Anthony Radatek, who's moved up into, well, 3rd. Francois Midori 4th. Isahai, that's plenty to get him a podium. Midori still there, 4th. Baristan 5th. Kylie Elmer 6th. Eges Ratak 7th. Teddy Pons has dropped back. Teddy was up in that 4th place position, but is falling backwards. Philin Sali in 9th. Perpom Terapopinich is your top 10. Again, Kasha, Hajime, and Radatek. And if nothing changes, it'll be Kasha, Midori, and Isahai. Yeah, Pons moving backwards. I think Teddy Pons is having some problems. Tough break for him. Man, he looked awesome this morning. Boat number 12, that's Lingga Kumara, another one of the Indonesian riders. And Georgi Kasha just playing cool. All he needs to do is hold everything together for a few more minutes. He's on 29 minutes. We've got 6 minutes left. He's got to keep that boat together. Another shot of our Indonesian riders. That was boat number 12, Lingga Kumara out of Indonesia. Boat number 5, Georgi Kasha. What is the lead now? 40 seconds ahead of Isahai Hajime, a minute 0.5 ahead of Anthony Radatek, and a minute 30 ahead of, a minute 30 ahead of Radatek and Midori. You're watching the Hungarian phenom, Georgi Kasha. Said he's going to take a little holiday after this one. Jim's going to slow down a minute. He's going to do a little traveling, bring his 1.5-year son. Ildi along with him and take a break. But right now he's got the opportunity to go to work, and he's done it. He did a lot of work on that boat on the break, and it certainly paid off. Lino Rahu, just 4 hole shots, credited with all the most hole shots over the week, but right now he is on the beach. Isahai, your Japanese rider, with a 1:26.033 on lap number 20. Still trying to reel in Georgi Kasha. He has reduced that lead. He's down to 32-second gap. Man, Georgi just looks flawless, doesn't he? When he's got that boat the way he wants it. Now look at his handlebars. You see the angle on that? I talked about that earlier. That angle is much higher. Normally they roll, especially Kasha, he rolls that thing back like he's driving a go-kart. So it's almost back in his lap. That is really a good opportunity for him to be more aggressive on the turns and really come tight. Look how he cut that turn. He can't help himself. That's like a close course turn for sure. He's used to close course racing. Again, he's only been racing this for a year in endurance, but he certainly has done a great job in endurance racing. Again, Midori Radatek and Isahai on the World Championship. If nothing changes, that is how the podium's going to look for the UIM AVP Aquabike World Championship. Midori Radatek and Isahai, again, if no change. He broke! No way! O-M to the G. Georgi Kasha just broke. He had 4 more minutes to go. What a heartbreaker. Oh my gosh, what a heartbreaker. Georgi Kasha goes down, and you can just see the body language there. He's like, I cannot even believe this is happening. Oh, you know what? This isn't an engine problem. This is one of those seaweed problems. He got something stuck in that pump. They have these big clumps of plants out here, and he might have just sucked one of those up. I think that might have been what happened. Meanwhile, that is going to be a change of leadership. Isahai Hajime just grabbed the reins. Anthony Reditek's going to be second. Francois Midori third. Wow, Atsal Berestov fourth. Kylie Elmers will be fifth. Egez Ratag sixth. Phil Sali is seventh. Shin Shan eighth. Permpom Terapotpanich ninth. And Teddy Pons by the chin of Chinny Chin Chin has got 10th, at least at the moment. Let's see if Georgi Kasha is able to get that junk out of his pump and bring it back to the water. But right now, your race leader is down like James Brown. Not good. Not good at all. Isahai, your new leader, though. You know, it's interesting. Disaster for one is a victory for another. So Isahai Hajime holding strong for Japan. We had 2 Japanese riders out here this week representing. The first time we've had it. In fact, we had a 50% increase in our endurance course last year. We had 22 riders. We came to it this year with 33. Correct me if I had wrong math, but anyway, Hajime, what a beautiful job. He's out of Gunma, car salesman. So if you need a car, let him know. Boat built by Marine Mechanic. He says his pre-race, I pray to God that you don't hurt me. His first race ever in 1993, and this 54-year-old warrior is leading when we've got 33:33 on the clock. Literally 2 more minutes. That's all it would have taken to keep that boat going. Georgi's got to be screaming in his helmet. Isahai is Isa screaming. Isa screaming, Isahai. Boat 87. 6-time Japanese champion, 2017 to 2022, all in a row. First race ever in 93, first win was in 94. And what a story, and how fate changes for this gentleman out of Japan. He came out with his friend Jun Akoma, and just a wonderful group of people, and right now he's feeling good. And look at solid too for the boat. That boat's running real good, real quiet for him. Isahai Hajime. He's won a ton of championships in the US and in Europe. And as mentioned, 6-time in Japan, he's taken it. And right now he's screaming around in the lead. With just a minute, we're at 34:46. Anthony Raditek in second, Midori in third, Atsel Berestan in fourth, Kylie Elmers in fifth. And Georgi Kasha, as you know, is dropping out. Philin Sali in 6th. Shen Shen in 7th. Permpom Terapapanic in 8th. Scott Phillips, actually, will he hold off just a second? Give you that top 10. Scott was out of that just a little bit, 13th. Let's see if he's able to move up. Scott Phillips, his first race this year in the endurance, the UIM AVP Aquabike Tour. First time we got to see Scott here. What is life right now? Isahai Hajime. Not sure how you would say this is awesome in Japanese. We'll see if I can find out and get back with you. Isahai's got to be saying it though. 1:28.223 was the last lap for Isahai Hajime, and we're on 35:41, so we are close. We are close to the end, and I can see Marco Petrini getting the checkered flag ready for Isahai Hajime. What a great run for the gentleman from Japan. Isahai Hajime takes the win, and oh, you can see the reaction. Outrageous, outrageous performance for Isahai Hajime. That was wild. Endurance never fails to get the crowds rolling. In second, it's going to be Anthony Radatek. He's coming around these final turns, taking this second place. He's just finishing up. He hits that front stretch right now. That is your second place. The gentleman from Alabama on the double deuce, Anthony Radatek. And you can see the course marshals down there. They're indicating to the riders that this is the end. That red flag is out, just letting them know you're done after this one. Francois Midori is going to take the top 3 in Moto number 2. And he's just cruising. He's real. There's no reason for him to get excited, but he sure as heck does know what this means. Put your hands together for Francois Midori, your new world champion for the UIM AVP Aquabike World Champion Endurance. And man, the reaction is fantastic for him. He's going back to the pits, jumping in the water. Isahai Hajime, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that is going to do it. So let's talk about the World Championship podium. Unofficially, Midori, Anthony Radatek, and Isahai Hajime. So Francois Midori, Anthony Radatek, and Isahai Hajime. Woo! Look at him, so excited. Kisses the boat, blowing kisses at us. That was awesome. All right, Simalungun, it's going to be Isahai taking the win. Midori in second, and Radatek in third. That's the Simalungun Cup. And again, your World Championship results, Midori, Radatek, and Isahai. Let's break down the country's hymn on Simalungun, Isahai, Midori, Radatek for the Simalungun Cup. That would be Japan, France, and the U.S. And the World Championship, that's going to be France, the U.S., and Japan. Little flippy flop. Woo! Man, I need a break from all that adrenaline. That was amazing. What a rumble, what a raucous, what a spectacle right here in Parapet. I don't know about you, but I got goosebumps from that one. That was brilliant. Great ride. Got to give a salute, though, to Georgi Kasha, the gentleman from Hungary. Absolutely has everyone's love and support. He was leading that race up to the final 2.5 laps, and then unfortunately disaster showed up as gremlins underneath his hood and in his pump, and took away his opportunity. Meanwhile, there it is, Francois Midori, your new UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship. John Bruno Pastorello, I hope you're watching from home. We miss you. But Francois Midori carries on the tradition. France is at the top of the podium for this World Championship yet again. Which does bring the question, will we have a French sweep? Certainly is a good start for him. Your pharmacist out of Corsica. And yeah, I could just feel the energy and excitement off the water. I hope you guys can too. That was an incredible afternoon. What a spectacle. What a day. And we didn't get any rain. And as you can see, Isahai Hajime also is going to come out with his flag for the Simalungun Cup, and well-deserved. You guys, that is your gentleman that took the world in runabout GP1 last year. He's your defending world champion. He's got a lot of momentum and a lot of mojo going into the World Championship finals. You'll find out who is gonna be at the top in closed course racing is too as we get ready. So Francois Midori is the Roy DL Endurance. Beautiful. All right, so Midori has now officially won the Aquabike Euro Endurance and the World Endurance. Back-to-backs all nailed this year, Francois Midori. All right, you guys, I'm going to just wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of the Aquabike World Championship right here, the Grand Prix of Lake Toba. We're going to switch over to awards, so we're going to pop out of here. But if I may, just leave you with this as a signature of where we are in wonderful Indonesia. Horas, horas, horas. We'll see you tomorrow for closed course racing.
Biasa.